Jonathan and Loon.
Does a game like tonight give you an opportunity to see something different in your team? Do you approach it with a different perspective of what you want to see out of it?
It's just a really good opportunity for our young guys to play and to compete against a really good team on the road, and they're gonna get tested, and it'll be good for them.
Is there anything in particular you're looking for from JK and Moses in particular?
Just continued development. The more reps, the better. That's what they need right now.
How much did the complications crossing the border factor into your decision to sit so many guys?
Yeah, I mean, that's everything factors in, and it feels like the whole league now is in a precarious spot, and you factor in the differences in the rules here and how that might manifest itself long term. All that stuff we factored in.
You kind of started this road trip before the surge kind of started, and you kind of experienced it all on the road. Is it going to be a relief just to get home in one piece?
Yeah, it'll be nice to get home. It's been a long trip, but this is just, it's part of the NBA. Everybody goes through it. Just so happens that this trip occurred during this surge, and everybody's antenna are back up, and I think everyone is anxious to be home with their families for the holidays, and hopefully see things settle down. But we'll see how it all goes.
You touched on this, but maybe walk us through why coming across the border was an added layer of consideration. Someone test positive here, what happens going back?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to stay out of that just because I will probably misspeak. But I would just say that the last few days have been really difficult. Jordan Poole going into the protocol. Every day you open up the internet and read about 10, 15 players going in. We are in the midst of a really rough schedule, so we've got guys banged up. We made the decision to do what we did, thinking this is going to protect our team going forward and give the guys Steph will get rest. The other guys get a couple of days to recover from their injuries, and hopefully we can go out and compete and really perform well tonight with our young guys. So beyond that, I should not go into detail because I'm not an expert.
Was it a pretty last minute decision to send those guys home rather than?
It was discussed yesterday. The last couple of days, everything was sort of up in the air, especially with the testing. We weren't sure how many people were going to pass the test, and so there was a lot up in the air.
You guys had your results back from the test you took this morning?
Yes, and everybody's clear.
Coach, it's been a long time since you've been here, going back to the year with the team. I know that series means a lot to Canadian fans, even though lots has changed in basketball and even in the world. But what's it like for you to come back to Toronto and Scotiabank Arena?
I always love coming back to Toronto. It's a once-a-year trip for us, obviously, but we've missed it the last 2 years, and it's one of the great cities in the world, and to come visit is fun, and playing in this building is always fun. There's an electricity, there's a love for the game here. It reminds me a lot of the Bay Area, and I felt that way, before I became the Warriors coach. Oracle and whatever bank is sponsoring this arena now were two of my favorite arenas because there was always this buzz pregame. You could just feel it. A handful of arenas in the league that feel that way. And so when we played here in the finals, I mean, just with the stakes, it was just incredible. I'll always remember the national anthem before game one and hearing all the fans stand up and sing the Canadian anthem. It was just a beautiful moment. And obviously a devastating series for us given the injuries to Klay and Kevin. And it's hard to believe that, poor Klay is still, recovering from that. It seems so long ago. It's great to see Kevin back performing at such a high level. But that was pretty incredible time here in this building, and the Raptors were great and deserved to win the championship.
Will you miss that tonight with the new capacity restrictions?
Yeah, I heard that, and I'm sad to hear that, but it's understandable. We're just trying to do whatever we can to make sure we keep the league going, and we're going to support whatever the NBA and the cities decide to do. But it's, one of the great things about this season has been feeling the energy again and feeling the crowds, back and the love for the game. And so we'll see how it goes, over the next few weeks, but we're crossing our fingers.
What can you say about the coaching matchup between you and Nick? You obviously had that battle in the finals. What can you say about what you've learned from his coaching style over the years?
I think watching Nick, what really stood out to me, the first couple of times we played him was he's just a very creative coach. He's coached for a long time, and he's coached at a lot of different levels, and he's used that experience really well. So he's not afraid to throw crazy schemes out there. I mean, everybody knows, about the box and one in the finals, and but we learned from that, and I think the way this league works, we all sort of steal from each other, and I think Nick has been very influential in this league, in the way the Raptors play defense, the way they search for deflections, and the way they play passing lanes. That they clearly have an identity and a style, and that comes directly from Nick. So great coach.
Any updates, Nick, on who's available tonight that was on the questionable list?
Yeah, OG is available. He's going to play. Kim and Precious are not.
Precious is because of his shoulder, correct?
Yes.
Nick, what's your meeting like versus this version of the Warriors?
Listen, it's got to dig into a lot of personnel film, and we've obviously done that. They're not, there's some guys we know pretty good there, and at least get a pretty good feel for. And it's developing game plans and personnel tendencies and all those things like we would for anybody. Yeah.
I guess not too many of these guys have a long track record. I suppose. Is it more work versus?
Well, it's some work. I wouldn't say it's more. I think it's it's a different group of guys that you're breaking all the film down on as far as individually personnel wise, and then you just take it from there.
Will OG be on any kind of minutes restriction, or do you have to watch him how long you play him at a spurt? Like how do you handle that?
Yeah, I would say that the length of the stints that he's doing will be fairly short, Doug.
Will you start him right off the bat?
Probably, yeah.
The other four would be.
I don't know who it is going to be right now at this point, Doug. So I don't think there's any sense in trying to speculate it quite yet.
You guys frequently go over and across the border and have to go through that whole process. The Warriors opted to just send most of their guys back home rather than go through that. What, from your perspective, is that difficult? Is that a hassle for you? Just take me through what that's like for you guys?
Yeah, no, it's not I mean, we're accustomed to it. I mean, I think you're just talking about immigration, I think, right?
Side of the border and all that.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I think we've tested so much, and it hasn't felt like that we've had to go too far out of our way for doing anything other than our people telling us, we need to test this morning or that evening or whatever. This test gets us through and back home, and we got to take another. They've organized it all like pretty smooth, and they've planned it all out, right? And they tell us pretty much in advance, and it hasn't seemed to me as we've had to do a whole lot of anything that feels that out of the norm. I'm sure we are testing a time or two here or there, but it hasn't, you know what I mean? It hasn't seemed like, oh, we've got to, all get over, completely out of our schedule to go get this test so we can get back home. None of that has felt out of rhythm or anything like that. And I know there's some extra tests in there. But again, at this point, 5, 6, 700, 700, 800 tests in, it's another test for us, right?
Nick, is there some level of disappointment when you don't get to face the best the team has to offer, the opposition has to offer?
Well, I don't disappointment. Yeah, there's some level of all of this brings a little bit of level of, disappointment, the fans, the extra protocols, the who you're playing, who you're not. I just think that there is some level of it, but seems like it's going to be like this every game here for a little bit. Like, Brooklyn was like that. This is like that. I know I'm still waiting on word if we're going to Chicago. All the things coming up, I think, are all going to look like this for a while. So I don't know. We got to keep that level of disappointment at bay and get to work and do what we can do. Right.
This group does have some experience dealing with that unknown and things changing daily. You draw on that from last March it was when you guys went through that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess a little bit, Doug. I think that isn't all that different than what I would probably normally be saying here. Like, we got to worry about ourselves and who's playing and getting these guys out there. It's going to be great to get OG back in the fold. And can we make some steps forward? Can we play the way we want to play? Shouldn't for our sake, we got a game out there to play, and we got to worry about playing the way we want to play and getting guys improved and better and all that kind of stuff. So I would say that about any night normally, right? But I think hopefully we can just, once the ball goes up, play.
Just on the coaching matchup, yourself versus Kerr, what have you sort of taken from your matchups against him over the years? And anything specific that you've picked up or learned or want to draw on?
Well, I mean, listen, I think that they obviously they've had a tremendous amount of success, and you don't have this level of success unless you're doing all phases of the game really well. Right. They really guard. They do it consistently. They really play with pace consistently. They move on offense. The ball moves on offense. I mean, they do a lot of things that you could call like model basketball. Right. They do a lot of things that people say, man, they really guard and they really move the ball and they really shoot and they really, they fundamentally, they're good. They pass, they rebound, they do a lot of stuff. So, I mean, listen, I like to watch them play. I like to watch them play from a coaching standpoint to see the things that they're doing. I don't know. That's about all I can say about that, I guess. Yeah.
Hey, Nick. I was just wondering, like, obviously you spoke about, like how good the Warriors are, and like you won't see him tonight, but with Klay Thompson, it sounds like he could be coming back like relatively soon. How much better could that potentially make this Warriors team?
Well, I think it makes him substantially better. I mean, he's a great player, right? He's up there at a level defensively and shooting, right at the top, and IQ and toughness and competitiveness, all that stuff. I mean, he's got all the characteristics of a great player. He's got experience. He's got playoff deep runs, championship experience, all that kind of stuff. So it should help him a lot.
Thanks a lot, Nick.
Yep. Thanks, Stephen.